This week we're going to highlight the results of last week's USDA monthly supply demand report. We're going to look at the updated forecast for Brazilian corn, and we're also going to highlight U.S. corn planting progress. Hi, this is Brian Basting with Advanced Trading. Let's talk about the corn market. We moved into the middle of April here, and there's certainly a lot going on, so let's get right to it. Last week, the USDA released its monthly supply demand report. Let's take a look at those numbers. A lot of numbers to go through here. We're going to highlight corn. Notice that the carryout here on the far left-hand side of the screen here, 1.352 billion bushels. Notice the average trade guess was only slightly higher than that at 1.379. Last month was at 1.502, so that carryout is coming down. Looking at the South American crop projections, Brazil crop was unchanged from March at 109 million tons, a little above the average trade guess, and the Argentina crop was 500,000 tons lower at 47 million tons. Now that was a little bit still above the average trade guess. The next USDA report will be released on May 12th. Let's move on now to look at Brazil corn, a critical time period here from about the middle of April here to about the middle of June this year. This is where those corn production areas again are in Brazil. Let's zero in and focus on that weather outlook for Brazilian corn. Our slides this week, as usual, are courtesy of T-Storm Weather. We're going to start out here looking at 30-day subsoil moisture. Really looking at the further north you go, they've gotten a lot of good moisture. Remember, the number one corn-producing state in Brazil is Mato Grosso. So really, that northern area is in pretty good shape here as you move in the middle of middle of April. You can see as further south, though, it is drying out across those other key states. Let's move on now and look at rainfall prospects for this week. Friday and Saturday this week, looking at some of those drier areas in the south, including Mato Grosso do Sul, Paraná, could get some rainfall, 1/2 inch to 1 inch. The actual numbers will be critical, though, as we move into this weekend. So Sunday night, as usual, could be volatile in terms of trading. Let's move on now and look at the longer-term forecast. We're looking at the next 2 weeks here. And looking at that red line, most of the precip over the next 2 weeks is forecast to be above that red line. Remember, that's the area that's already received some good rainfall. So some of those states below that red line could continue to suffer here. Here's the range of crop development. We're looking at some of those states, some of those crops in Mato Grosso are already pollinating, but some of those states further south, the crop's just emerging. So this weather market's going to stretch out all the way into June. Let's move on now and focus on U.S. corn planting progress. Now this is our map here. The USDA came out this week, 4% this week compared to 3% last year and 3% for the 5-year average. Looking at some of the states, Illinois is ahead of the average, as well as a couple of those states in the Eastern Corn Belt are ahead of the average so far. Let's move on now and focus how this year compares to recent history. We're looking here at 4% again as of April the 4th. Over the next 2 weeks, between now and April 18th, on average, increase about 16%, so we're looking at somewhere in that neighborhood of 20% planted around the 18th of April, weather permitting. Speaking of weather, let's take a look at the short-term weather trends here in the U.S. Now we're looking here for some moisture mainly out west this week across wheat areas of Kansas, Colorado, maybe parts of western Nebraska here. But as we move further east and north, you can see not a lot of rainfall in that forecast, so at least moisture-wise, not many limiting factors. Wrapping up our forecast here, it is going to be quite chilly, though, across most of the Midwest here, particularly in that Eastern Corn Belt and the Northern Corn Belt. So maybe the temperatures might hold back planting progress as we wait for that soil temperature to warm to ideal levels. Let's wrap things up looking at trends in December corn futures. Now looking at this week, now December corn futures here on Tuesday closed above $5 a bushel. Now that's actually above where December 2014 futures were trading. So now we're looking at the highest price for December corn futures in the middle of April. You have to go all the way back to 2013, an 8-year high. You can see there it was trading about $5.50 a bushel in the middle of April in 2013. Strongly encourage you to continue to work closely with your trusted risk management advisor to manage these volatile markets. Now, if you'd like more information, please feel free to contact us, 800-664-2321. We'll put you in contact with one of our risk management consultants. We'll be happy to visit with you at your convenience. And remember, we upload every Wednesday. Make sure to subscribe to our channel to never miss an upload. Thanks a lot. Have a good week.